the Cone Center was always filled with students, whether in student affairs, student activities, student government, coming and going, lots of coming and going.
Things about Cone that have changed, I think, since I was here, which has been over 17 years ago. There was a major concentration. The university was smaller, so everything was concentrated here with the student services, student organizations, student government. So it was really all right here in the hub here. A lot more students, a lot more activity just with students. So I think that's the biggest difference nowadays. It's kind of spread out in new student union and elsewhere.
I can say it's interesting working in a building which is named for the founder of the institution. And at the time, Miss Beane was still ever present, still had an office on campus, and it can be overwhelming. And so not only was I going into a new role, but I was going into sort of this history of the founding of our institution, and it was pretty exciting. We had a really very neat staff at the time.
My first memory or connection with Cone Center was when it was the original Cone Center without the extension on it. And it's when I came for my interview in 1971. And I'll probably get teary-eyed about this because I think about these things. It's sort of like memory. Anyway, I came in the front door, and that was where the Dean of Students office was, and that's where I met people. The candy counter wasn't there. It was the Dean of Students office. And I remember this very attractive young woman, blonde hair and everything. I said, "Oh, this is a Southern woman. I'm from Iowa," so I'm thinking I was seeing a Southern women, and so that was very gracious and so forth. And so that was my first memory, was just where I came to interview for, or meet people for the interview that I came from. Yeah, so that was my first connection.
Favorite memory or memories, I guess, would be working with students. Our directors and all our staff were really bought into the fact that we need to have a experiential situation with students, and we hired like 65 students, and I supervised quite a few of them. So I guess some of the good memories is seeing them working here and actually developing, and the experience that just happened. I ran into two of those students at the football game last weekend, and that's been, gosh, 25 years ago, and they actually met here and got married. So really good memories of that kind of stuff. Good experience of watching students progress and move forward.
There are so many memories in Cone Center. I spent over 20 years over there, but for what it's worth, whether it was good or bad, probably the piano in the lounge on the other side of the wall from our office is something I'll never forget. For the students who knew how to play, it was really, a pleasure and a joy to come in and to listen to the music. But for those who didn't, but were trying to figure out how to play chopsticks and just over and over and over again, you wanted to go over and just tell them, please stop the insanity.
Bonnie Cone believed that the students should have a say in issues on campus and should be allowed to have time at the lunchtime, like from 12 to 2, to have meetings with their different clubs and organizations. And she really supported the idea of student government being involved in the decisions of the university.
Probably my most memorable experiences had to do with actually Miss Cone. One of them was we invited her in a number of times to come with our student workshops, our student employee workshops. And she would come to the center and she would take a chair and she would tell the history of UNC Charlotte and talk about the Cone Center and then answer questions for the students. And even now thinking about it, it gives me goosebumps. She came once to one of our Thanksgiving staff dinners, luncheons that we would do, and it was pretty neat.
Miss Bonnie was quite the person for those who knew her. Lots of memories with her in Cone Center. She used to come to our Thanksgiving holiday party and would sit at the table and tell stories and just captivate people.
It was the hub for students, and it gave them a place to come to relax, participate in programs, or be part of organizations. So I think it played a major role at the university. And as in its vision and mission statement, it completed that part of their education more practical rather than academic. So I think it really has played a big part in the students' lives.
Cone Center was the place to go. I mean, for years on campus, especially when I first started over there back in '87. It's where student government was. It's where food service was down there. The Prospector was had been opened, and the bookstore had moved over there. But Cone Center was still the center of campus.
There's a lot of history inside the walls of Cone Center. I saw an alumni recently who met their future husband at the candy shop when he was a building manager. They got married, they had their reception in Cone Center, and she talked about what it was like to be a student employee and to meet her husband and to get married there, and how special that building is. And I think it's really special for lots of people like that.
It's hard to believe that it's been 50 years. Sometimes, we look around and we think, wow, we've been here forever. And then there are other times when you realize just how young an institution it really is. But to think that Cone Center's been here for 50 years, I think is quite a testament to the campus and to the role Cone's played. And I'm just really excited to see this anniversary come around and for us all to be able to celebrate it.
I think Cone's going to live another 50 years. It's going to continue to serve this campus in a way that we can't even begin to think of today. And yet, it'll be an anchor, and people 50 years from now will still be talking about the Cone Center and how it had an impact on their life.